So on the quest to save Tolkien's house, we have reached the Misty Mountains, and we are joined by a very special guest who is here as the earthly representation of Gimli to share some of his Christmas traditions with us. So, John, it's lovely to see you. I know you're sitting in New Zealand as we speak now, um, but I want to ask you, what Christmas traditions did you have when you were growing up in Wales or wherever you grew up?
Oh, the traditions in Wales were simple and time-honored. Christmas decorations went up on Christmas Eve. They came down on Twelfth Night. The New Year was brought in by somebody who came to the front door with a new piece of coal, a piece of coal. And this meant that wealth and prosperity and warmth would luckily fall upon the house for doing that. But I didn't spend every Christmas in Wales. Indeed, I spent some of my Christmases out in Africa, which of course meant a tropical sun. I remember some wonderful Christmases on the beach in Dar es Salaam, and indeed, right at the moment, as you mentioned, I am in New Zealand. Oh, I'm not in New Zealand. I'm in quarantine in New Zealand at the moment, which means that this is day 7, and I have been locked up in this room for 7 days, and there are another 7 to do, and I can do it quite happily, thank you, but it is getting a little bit confining, and I do wish I could open a window. So this year, probably a barbecue for Christmas. My wife is one of these people who would put up Christmas decorations in February and take them down in late January, really. I mock her, but of course, she comes from a different tradition. It's a splendid time, Christmas. And it does remind us that we have to give gifts and be generous. And perhaps the giving of gifts is more important than the receiving of them.
Okay, that is very true. And in fact, you can get almost like more pleasure from getting the right gift for someone, can't you? But when you think back, what was the best present that you were ever given?
When I was 5, I was given a superb tricycle. It was in Salisbury in England, and we still have a photo of it. I would show it to you if we were in England now, but alas, me sitting on the bicycle. Splendid Christmas gift. There weren't that many bicycles or tricycles available in 1951.
That's
what am I talking about?
A wonderful image. So thinking about one of your most famous characters, and as we're at the Misty Mountains, I wonder if you could tell us what you think Gimli would have on his gift list.
Well, Christmas for Gimli would be a time of a lot of backslapping and chomping of good meat. Fatty bones sizzling on an open fire, and every conceivable bit of bling and I think the dwarves are quite generous with each other. I think certainly Gimli would be, after this journey, he would certainly be a more generous man towards the other species that he travels with. The journey is as much an eye-opener for Gimli as it is for anyone. And I think there is a pleasure too in seeing people open gifts. Let me tell you, the favorite gift that I ever saw. I have a daughter who is now 14. When she was 8, and as she is now, horse mad, she got the loan of two older horses, Limo and Digby. Now, Limo was just one of these animals that every girl should have in their life. Every animal should be loved by a little girl. I had never before been under a horse on my back, trying to pick the ticks off him with absolute confidence that he wouldn't be trampling on me or anything like this. He had the most adorable nature. And as he was an old boy, still usable for a first-time horse for a little girl, these wonderful friends of ours decided to give him to Maya, not just to lend him to Maya. And we have somewhere a wonderful video of her opening the very last present, which is just an envelope, and she pulled it out, and there was this official document signing over a horse to her. And she looked at it and read it and looked at us and read it again, and then it dawned on her and she burst into tears.
Oh, that's...
Tears in Daddy's eyes, just remembering it.
Oh, it's absolutely adorable. Yeah, and there's nothing quite like that pet that is, or a horse is more than a pet, companion that makes a child's childhood. So as we're also looking around us at the Misty Mountains at the moment, John, would you like to tell us what your favourite mountain is? And then you can then let us into the secret as to whether or not you've climbed it.
I do love mountains. I tend to want, if you're going to live in a city, you have to live at the highest point of it. If you're going to live in the country, then you have to live in a fairly high and prominent position. For me, location, location, location means height and view. In the Isle of Man, I have views to the sea, and over there to Cumbria, and over there to Scotland. Well, I spent many a happy time in a place called Moshi in northern Tanganyika, which is just under the foot of Kilimanjaro. And yes, I did climb Kilimanjaro when I was a boy. And for me, those sunsets and sunrises, when the pink of the sky is reflected on the mountain itself and you see pink snow, these are the most enchanting and enduring memories of my childhood. We live in such a beautiful world.
I'm very envious of you being in Middle Earth at the moment. Once you're out of your lockdown, you'll be in summer, won't you, in New Zealand? How amazing will that be?
Well, it can be amazing. Last year was rather wet, but yes, it is amazing. It's a great country.
So what's your Christmas wish this year? I imagine you've given it away slightly by telling us that you want to have your barbecue on the beach, but is there anything else you're wishing for?
No, darling, I will take my Christmas as it comes, how it comes. I shall grieve the fact that my youngest son is in Germany with his family, and I shall miss him. But I shall rejoice in the fact that I shall be with my wife, our daughter, and my eldest beloved son, Ben. And I think it'll be, I think for all of us, actually, it's going to be a less financially extravagant Christmas, because who knows what the new year will bring. Which leads, of course, to the New Year's wish, or the Christmas wish, is that we overcome this wretched little virus – and we return to some measure of normality, and that we do good things. The practice of virtue should be encouraged, especially amongst the elves. We dwarves have got it to a T, you see.
Nice to hear that rivalry is still alive and well. Of course, Oxford, where Tolkien's house is part of the story of the vaccines. They've managed to come up with a cheaper vaccine that can be more widely distributed. So hopefully they are part of the picture of the solution. And if people would like to give a gift of a donation to the Tolkien House, you can get a specially designed gift certificate with an illustration that's been done for us, and you can give it to the Tolkien fan in your life. Just a little gift, as John says, it's a very difficult time at the moment. So one or two steps along this journey, if you can manage that, would be most welcome. So thank you, John, and we hope that the rest of your lockdown passes quickly, swiftly.
Any of us who really complain about the privations of lockdown and COVID should remember that Tolkien was in the trenches in World War I. And anyone who can survive that and remain sane is remarkable. To all of you, from all the dwarves, have a wonderful Christmas. Give what you can. Be good, be generous and kind. And next year, let us all resolve to be healthy, to be sane, and to be solvent